Bitcoin and Litecoin's next big move. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Sunday, and I hope you had a great weekend. We're going to take a look at the charts. As always, we're going to start out with Litecoin, and then we're going to move on to Bitcoin and look at price action, where we might be headed. And then stick around till the end of the video, and we're going to look at the Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly chart, where I believe we could hit 46,000 by the end of the year. Also, we're going to see if we can measure this next move, where we might be headed in the immediate future. So definitely stick around, check it out. And also don't forget, we have a 100% free Discord group. All you got to do is click the description below the video. There's some other links in there, affiliate links that really help the channel out, guys. If you want to contribute to the channel, check those links out. But the Discord is free. Definitely check it out. Best community in crypto, bar none, guys. Check it out. Let's get into the video, see what's going on. Alright guys, as always, want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here, you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. Tick the notification bell. That'll get you notified when I post new videos, as I do post every day, trying to keep everybody as updated as I can with the little amount of time I have. Another thing, take a second out, guys. Smash the like button. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think, and let's begin. So, our cup and handle that we've been watching forever is a possibility. We're building a much bigger cup and handle here. We'll take a look at that in the future, but as of right now, we're going to keep an eye on this smaller one that we were watching with the breakout target of 180, which I still believe we're headed there pretty soon here, guys. We should be seeing that price. So we're going to take a look at where we're at now. Take a look at some higher targets too. If we're to come up here, and as you can see, I have this rising broadening wedge in yellow here. We were to break up out of that, guys, from, you know, within the next couple days, if we break up out of this, my target is the 274, 275 area. And then if we look at this rising broadening wedge here, well, the same rising broadening wedge, but if we were to kind of slowly just creep up to our 180 and then we broke from there, then the target would be around the $300 range. And again, guys, that is not my end of the year target for Litecoin. My end of the year target for Litecoin is 600 to 1,000, and my end of the year target for Bitcoin obviously is 46,000. And I'll show you why here in a little bit. Let's look at the RSI. Looking at the RSI in the daily, everything's playing out as we thought. Here's the rising wedge we were watching since I actually started watching it in December. We had a bear trap here. Looks like this could possibly be another bear trap. But we had a falling channel within it, which we've fallen out of. But the interesting thing is, if we take this trend line up at the top here and bring it down to the bottom, it's still laying, obviously. Well, I can just move this one. Let me move this one down. But yeah, we still are in a falling channel if we pull it that way. But we did attempt to get back in the rising channel and got rejected. But keep in mind, guys, bearish and bullish divergence and hidden divergence. We're going to take a look at the divergence real quick. As you can see, if we look at this trend line here, from right here, this low, and we're at a higher low over here, we're at a lower low here. That's hidden bullish divergence, guys. We definitely have power to move up here. Don't forget that. Like I said, all you got to do is look at it against the RSI, and we would look at this low here and this low here. Higher lows in the price, lower lows in the RSI. Hidden bullish divergence. Still have momentum here, guys. Let's look at the 4 hour. All right, and in the 4 hour, excuse me, In the 4 hour, same thing. We were in a falling wedge here. Had a falling channel, I'm sorry, falling wedge, broke out of that, do a falling channel, broke out of that, falling channel, so on and so forth. And now we are attempting to break out of this falling channel, which I do believe is going to happen, and I think we're going to test the top of this, guys. Let's look at the price action, see if we can find any divergence here. Obviously, we look at a lower low, or a low here, which is a low here, higher low here, lower low here. That was the divergence that got us up to this point. I do believe we have further to go, and we'll take a closer look at that in the price action right now. First, we're going to take a look at the bearish scenario, guys. We need to always keep in mind what could possibly be happening, even though I do have my targets up here that I believe are more likely. But if we were to come back down now, our target was 107. Now I have it at 109 because I'm staying with this channel here, this trend line on the bottom, and which lines up with here. Now these blue lines are rising broadening wedge, so within our yellow rising broadening wedge, right? I believe that's what's going to get us out of that. So let's look at the bearish case scenario. Like I said, if this 109 doesn't hold, we're looking at the 86 range. Let me go back to the daily and I'll show you why I got that. That would be the 200 EMA in the daily. So that's why I got the $86 target. Now let's look at a breakdown from this channel, guys. A measured move, we were to break down around here, would be around the $60 range. Now that would line up with this long-term bottom trend line here. So it is possible, if we break this 109 and the 86, that we come down to here. But I don't believe that's happening, guys. Don't get all paranoid. I just like to look at all options here. So what I believe is happening right now, we're going to go in and take a look at, is, let's look at this price action right here. If we look at this as a breakout, if we draw a trend line in here, guys, let's do this. Put a trend line in here. If we can remain above this trend line, then I believe our target's the 153 area, and that being a measured move of this as the flagpole, and this being a bull flag, and the breakout there, 153.60 area in that range. And that's not to say we stop there. You know, we might make another bull flag and continue and end up trying to break this top of this rising broadening wedge here. Now if we were to break there, obviously you guys know this target is my head and shoulder, or I'm sorry, cup and handle target. But if we were to continue up from here and break up past this 164, and that target can move too, guys, depending on where this is, you know, where we hit it at the time. And that gets us up to the 217, which also lines up with our trend line here from all these touches down here in the beginning. So creating an even bigger rising broadening wedge. And then the measured moves off that will be amazing. And we'll look at that as it comes. But as of right now, my more immediate targets here are the 153, 164 area. And then, of course, my 180. And depending on where we break out there, guys, that changes. If we don't break out of this channel, and I know rising channels are usually bearish, but guys, we're in a parabolic bull market here. Parabolic bull market. For all you guys trying to short this, that's good luck. Anyways, so that'd be 235, which would also hit the top of this white trend line here on the bigger rising broadening wedge. And if we break above this line, guys, that is when the real FOMO will kick in and just insane gains. So that's where we're at with Litecoin right now, guys. Yeah, let's move on to Bitcoin. Get this out of the way. All right, so I had moved this line down here on the bottom, looking at this as a triangle or a bull flag. And I'll show you why. It's lining up with the top of this falling channel here. This trend line's lining up beautifully. So that's why I got that there. And it also looks like it's forming a falling wedge, which if we break out here, obviously we're going to come up and test this area, which could be, you know, could get us up to the 14,000 possibly this weekend. No guarantees, but we are going to look at, like I said, in the Bitcoin daily chart versus gold weekly chart, we're going to try to look at this move. We could be headed down to the 10.5, 10.6 area, and I'll show you why. We'll do some measurements, so definitely stick around for that. But let's go into the daily real quick, and we're going to look at my bigger price targets, and these will make sense in the end too, guys. They're just lining up with a lot of things. So we had this rising broadening wedge, which the breakout right here was our $9,600 range, which we broke through. We're in a rising wedge again, guys, which are rising channel, which are usually bearish, but in a parabolic bull run can be bullish. Yeah, so these are my high targets for breaking this trend line here. And if we were to break it here within the next, you know, couple days, I'm going to move this up just a hair. Within the next couple days, we'd be looking at the $24,000 range. Again, depending on where we break it, that target can move up. And actually, I am going to move that up, because if we are to break it here, you know, within this week or so, we would be looking around 2450, somewhere in that area. But anyways, again, guys, this is just like I said, if we break out here, that would be my target, but it's not saying that we go straight up there, guys. We're gonna have up and down action. But let's look at if we were to break out in a measurement of this channel using this top trend line and the trend line right here, which could be a rising channel, and we move that up to the breakout, that gets us around the 19.5 range, right in there, right around the all-time high. So I am looking towards that, but let's look at the RSI and see what that's telling us. All right, so looking at the RSI, and I pointed out yesterday we could possibly be forming a inverted head and shoulders on the RSI, but just like bearish formations can be bullish because we're in a parabolic bull market. So I wouldn't look at this as the end all be all that we're gonna crash on down, and we're gonna look at it against the price action. But I do want to show you the rising wedge that we were in forever, or rising channel, and then we fell into a falling channel, broke out of that. We could come back down and test the bottom of this, which I'm going to show you the measurement in the Bitcoin daily versus gold weekly chart. Let's look at the 4 hour now. All right, in the 4 hour, we're falling out of this rising wedge, and the measurements for a rising wedge also work in, also work in the RSI, but that would take us down to these levels down here, which is possible. Keep that in mind, and that might get us to our next low. But I do believe that we'll probably just come back down and test this before continuing up. If we do go down, we could break up from here. This could be a bull flag and come up to retest this line. Now let's look in the price action, what that would mean. You know what, let me back up. If we were to come down here and retest this line, that could be this range here around the 10.5 to 10.8, my two targets. So we're gonna look at the bearish scenario first, guys, as always. Yeah, so if we're to break down past this 10.5, then I would be looking for somewhere around the 90 or the $9,000 range, which would be the bottom of this old channel. And if that was to break, worst case scenario, around the 7,900 range, which would be the top of the broadening wedge, which we broke out of here. But I don't see that happening, guys. I really don't. But like I said, we got to keep that in mind, to keep an eye on these areas. So now my more immediate targets are using these trend lines. Let me back up so you can see the trend lines. This trend line from all the touches over here, and we had a little peak down through here but pop back in, which we may see again over here, and I'll show you why, but keep an eye on those. And I talked about it the other day. We could end up forming, it's very possible. Where is my pen? Right here. So what we could see is something like this, like this, like this, and you know, a huge bull flag right here, this being the flagpole. But until we get more info, obviously we won't know that. But we will take our moves, looking at our measured moves now, and see what I see in the more immediate. All right, so this trend line here, I showed you this triangle here, and I got that by looking at this trend line in the RSI on the bottom. Whoops. So what I'm looking at is that we're most likely, if we break down past this, we're headed down to the 10.8 range to the 10.5, which I get a more of a measured move around 10.6 when we look at that here in a few. But as of right now, if we measured the triangle right there and took the measured move of, whoops, I took the whole damn triangle. Not mean to do that. Get it out of the way and get my measured move. Sorry, guys. All right. So if we took the measured move of the breakout of this triangle, that would get us down to, if we broke out right around this area, that'd get us down to 10.2, right around the 10.2. If we went that low, which I don't think we're gonna, I believe that would just be a stop hunt for everybody that put their stops under these wicks. But I don't believe that's what's gonna happen. If we were to break up and just use the measured move of the triangle, that would be around the 1300 range, 13,100 range. But I believe if we break up, we're going a lot higher than that. We're going to have some momentum, guys. So anyway, if we were to break up, we would use this measurement from this flagpole here, looking at this as a bull flag, and we're looking at around the 14,000 range. I'm going to move this down just a hair. 14,000 to 14,100, somewhere in that range if we break up. But there is a good possibility we're going to break down here, guys, and I'll show you why. But I don't believe we're going to go any lower than 10.5, in my honest opinion, unless like I said, we see a stop hunt and they go down to try to catch the stops below these wicks, which would be around the 10,200. But I think that's pretty unlikely, and I'll show you why here in a few. All right, so let's looking at, move this over. Okay, so let's look at the bullish scenario now. So if we were to get up to that 14,000 range and break through it, well, you guys know where I got these targets from the breakout, so we're not going to look at the high targets. We already looked at those in the beginning. But anyways, we could also look at, like I said, this as a big rising channel using this top line up here and the bottom line here. And depending on where we break out, guys, that gets us, you know, up around that 19 range, and it will get higher the further we go, you know, to our breakout. So anyways, we got to keep an eye on that. As we all know, markets change and these trend lines aren't straight, so we have to, you know, kind of keep up with the data to know what it's going to do. But anyways, that's where I'm at with that, guys. Yeah, I'm still bullish here. I love saying that because I am, and I've been saying that since right around this area, and I don't see any reason that should change. Anyways, let's go into this. All right, here goes my rant real quick, guys. Before we start this, don't pay the scammers out there that are charging you for shit courses and charging you ridiculous amounts of money for teaching you the basics. Just learning the basics isn't going to make you a great trader. Being a good trader is learning the basics, which you can learn anywhere for free on the internet. Again, there's a lot of information on our Discord, tons of people helping each other out. Check that out. It's probably better than any paid place you can go. Don't go for these guys selling you their VIP and all that jazz. It's all a scam, guys. I hate seeing people get screwed in them scams, and it scares people away from the crypto community. So, you know, just stay away from that crap. They can't teach you years of experience. They cannot teach you years of experience. That can't be taught. That has to be experienced. So anyways, I'm done with that rant, guys. Just don't feed into their, you know, contribute to their drug habits and gambling habits and lavish lifestyles while they probably aren't even trading. They're telling other people how to trade. But anyways, all right, now the exciting part. This is the Bitcoin daily chart that we've been watching for some time, since January. I hear other people are starting to talk about it or whatever. Just know you heard it here first. You can check my videos going back to January. We started watching it back in here. So looking at it, I have these trend lines that we've drawn from each peak to where it broke down, and we've broken through all those resistance lines. This was support on the old bull run, or the bear market. I drew this trend line here, which we've broken out of. We came down to test once. I believe we could be coming down to test again, and I'll show you that here in a few. But take a good look at how Bitcoin bottomed out. 2 touches on this bottom trend line before obviously his huge move up. I also have this blue line in here, which is old support in the bear market before it broke to 6,000. So take a good look at that. And this blue line here, right around that 24,000 and 24,500, somewhere in this range. And my end of the year target up here at 46,000 to 47,000. Take a good look at it. I'm going to switch back and forth now to the gold weekly chart. Can you see the resemblance? A pattern is a pattern, guys. I don't care what anybody says. They say you can't go by a daily chart to a weekly chart. Bullshit. It's a pattern. Patterns play out beautifully. This one's playing out beautifully. Anyways, yes, you can compare it. So just an example, find somewhere in the chart, find a triangle, a bull flag in a 15-minute chart, and see how it plays out. Then you'd find a bull flag triangle in a weekly chart and see how that plays out. Enough said. So anybody that's saying this isn't correct can blow me. Anyways, sorry that some of the comments I've been getting and stuff lately is really pissing me off, but yeah, I hate to rant about that stuff, guys, but it is what it is. I do this for free, so you know, if you don't like listening to my little rants, you can move on and miss out on some good information. All right, so like I said, I believe we're right there where the arrow is on the Bitcoin chart compared to the gold chart. Right, so now we're going to go in, we're going to dig in a little deeper. But I do want to point out we had 2 touches on a bottom trend line before this obviously happened. And right in here we had great news. It was the ETF, and you see what happened after the ETF in gold. I do believe the ETF is probably coming soon. If not, some really, really, really good news, and is going to just blow this thing crazy. Anyways, yeah, so the same thing like I did in Bitcoin. Had these old support, and that's this white line, and then the old support of the blue line, which we've already broken through. Just, you know, do your own due diligence. Dig in, see what you think. Now, I want to show you why I have the blue line, right? And that is around the 24.2, 24.5, somewhere in this range. It's not going to be totally exact. We'll know when it gets there, if it plays out like I believe it's going to. But you can see that's where we had resistance in the gold chart, and then it came down. And that correction, we'll measure that correction a little bit. First, I'm going to measure this one first. But then we look at where it peaked out. That's why my target's 46 to 47,000 by the end of the year. And then as you notice, we came back down and tested that old resistance for support. And if we look over at the, you know, if we hit the 24.2, 24.4, whatever, 24.5, we'll be able to judge it better when we get there. But then we go up to our all-time high, 46 to 47,000, And do we come back to correct or come back to test that what will be resistance? And that's yet to be seen, but we'll be watching it closely this year. Just flash back and forth so you guys can see. All right, now let's dig in a little bit deeper. This is where it gets really interesting, and we're going to try to figure out where this move might be going today, or within the next couple days anyways. And I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed about how this is working out. Okay, so I'm gonna put Bitcoin on the 4-hour now, and we're gonna zoom in to where we are compared to the gold chart. And again, and everything, it doesn't play out to the T, guys, but this has been one hell of a guide, right? So let me shrink it up a little bit so we can see. All right, so as you can see, the similarities here, again guys, not exact, but pretty damn close. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a measured move from this peak right here in gold down to where this fell to, and that's about 25.5%, real close to 25.5%. Now we're going to come over here and measure this one that we had in Bitcoin. Where's that at? Right about the same thing, 25.80. Damn close. Beautiful, playing out beautiful. Now let's try to figure out where we might be headed for the price in this. So if we do the same thing from that tip, that peak there, to this one here, which I believe we're going to now, that's around 23%. Go back over to Bitcoin. Same thing, measure from the top to the bottom of here. If we take it to 23, where does that get us? That gets us right around 10.6, 10.7 range. So, and which also, has a little peek through this trend line. So, and this one didn't quite touch the trend line. This one blew through on gold. This one did not. So, chances are we could stop around that 10.8 area or whatever. But let's see how this plays out. This is going to be very interesting, guys, in the next few days. Now I want to go, gonna zoom back out, and we're gonna do some measured moves off of the bigger macro. So, and I want to show you what I believe this most likely will end up looking like. Get rid of these and just go down. All right, now looking at this again, what will this look like? Well, if we take a good look at it, it could possibly end up looking something like this. Let me draw it in there. Where we're at now, here, come down, here, up, right there. Well, you know what? Let me, I got to go back and see what it looked like. Okay. So, yeah, anyway, back up here, down, break through on our way up to here, and then come back down and correct to 24. Definitely possible. But we'll do some measurements here in a minute and take a look at that. But that's, more so what I believe this is going to end up looking like, guys. In my opinion, of course. Don't trade off my opinion. Now we're going to do another measured move of this move right here and see what that would look like. I'm going to measure the top of that to where it came down, and that was about a 33% correction. Now let's look from that blue line here, and what would a 33% correction be? We'd be looking at around 15 to 16, so we could correct down to 16,000 before continuing up. So keep that in mind. This is going to be really interesting to watch, guys, and I am going to keep updates and follow this all the way through and see if it does play out like this. This will be awesome if it is. This is a guide to financial freedom and life-changing life-changing opportunity if this plays out. Anyways, I love sharing this with you guys, and I hope it excites you as much as it does me. Let's look at the weekly RSI now. Another thing, we've been watching this whole thing since January, and nobody else was doing all this. So look at this 2013 bull run followed by the bear market, and I made the same trend line over here, and you'll see in a minute. We had 2 touches of resistance before breaking through and starting the bull market. Here's the 2017 bull market followed by the 18 bear market. 2 touches of resistance before starting the bull market. Whoops. Now let's go into the monthly. Here's the monthly. 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. Each one of these arrows represents a new low in the RSI. There was 4 of them before starting the bull market. 2017 bear market, same thing. Each arrow represents a new low in the RSI before starting the bull market. This arc may be a lot quicker, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, definitely consider subscribing by clicking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Tick the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. You will be notified when I post new videos. I may do a live stream tonight, not 100% sure, but I will notify everybody if I do. So definitely hit that notification. Smash the likes, guys. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to check out the affiliate links below the video, and I will either see you tonight or tomorrow morning. Take it easy.